after FINRA's corporate action, right, that came out. Basically what that means is MMTLP is being deleted as a ticker after the trading day on the 12th. So it's deleted on the 13th, right? And so that means that you no longer are reporting a trade in MMTLP after that date. And so the MMTLP, as of the end of trading on the 12th, will no longer be on the OTC markets.
And that's the most important point to come across here. If you are holding these shares on the OTC markets, guys, again, end of trading on the 12th. It's coming off of the OTC. There's also a deadline that I saw in this press release of the 12th as well. So any shareholders on record as of the 12th will be involved in this NextBridge hydrocarbons transaction. So the 12th, obviously, the most important date.
So they said the 12th, but the controversy here is that they halted, right, on the 9th. How is this happening? Like, how do we have regulatory agencies that are supposed to be regulating and protecting people from things like this happening, and then there doesn't really seem to be any regulation really going on?
I can tell you now, they didn't just wake up one day and decide they were going to do this to one security and they were never going to touch any other security. If you have $1 in any security in the United States stock market, you are at risk. Now, the difference between this situation and those other situations is that we are actually frozen in time, which means that we can actually get the share count, get the data, ascertain the imbalance, and stop something like this from ever happening again. But as long as these practices continue to go on Wall Street, your 401k, your IRA, your investments, your savings, all of them are at risk. We've been asking for a share count going on a year now, and they have refused to provide us that. And that is the most basic thing to ask for. We're not asking for identities, we're just asking for numbers. And an organization that's supposed to provide transparency to the investing public has refused to give us even a share count. So I think that says a lot in and of itself. All I'm going to say is we're still waiting for our share count. And we're not going anywhere till we get it.
Some people will say, you know, I don't know what you're complaining about, because everybody knows that when you invest your money into the stock market, your return isn't guaranteed, and that you could always run the risk of losing your entire investment.
So I can appreciate the inherent risk that comes along with investing in the stock market. If I invest in a company and the company goes bankrupt, that's on me. But if I invest in a security that is set to spin out, and the brokerage, the regulator, and the vice president of the market where it is trading all tell me that I have until December 12th to close my position, only for them to halt it on December 9th within 48 hours of that statement being made. Inherent risk is not supposed to mean that I have until the 12th to sell, only to wake up on the 9th and find out that I'm halted. I'm sorry, I don't accept that as an answer for those reasons.
Wall Street has figured out a way, ladies and gentlemen, to make more money killing companies than building them. This is simply stealing. That's what it is. At its base level, it's people stealing money, stealing jobs, hurting companies.
The Wall Street Journal dissed the shareholders of MMTLP, suggesting that the trading halt was their fault because it's a risky stock. Is it the role of FINRA and the SEC to stop stocks trading arbitrarily because they think they're risky? That's not their role. How can people trust the stock market?
FINRA has immunity, but they are the regulator that is tasked with overseeing all of this. And every time we go after them with a legal effort, they say, nope, we have absolute immunity. The crazy thing about this is I shouldn't have to sue the United States Army to protect me against a foreign invasion. We are literally having to take legal actions against FINRA to do the very thing that they are supposed to do, and they haven't done.
My next guest sent a letter to Gary Gensler, chair of the SEC, and Robert Cook, CEO of the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, is also known as FINRA. He's asking both organizations to review events that are surrounded Meta Materials Series A preferred shares, we know as MMTLP. Joining me now, South Carolina Congressman and member of the House Financial Services Committee, Representative Ralph Norman.
The MMTLP situation is unique in that if we actually get a share count and we expose this practice, obviously the next logical question for our legislators is, how did this happen and what legislation do we have to pass so that the regulatory framework does not allow for the wealth of the American public and hardworking people across the world that invest to have their money stripped from them.
It's a scandal. It's financial terrorism, in my opinion. And I'm really shocked that the mainstream media isn't talking about this more, and it's been kind of under wraps.
All I'm going to say is we're still waiting for our share count. And we're not going anywhere till we get it. FINRA and the SEC, you better get on the horn and resolve this thing with NextBridge Hydrocarbons, because we are not going anywhere until this is resolved.